Shalom, be self-care. All right, so I have to finish your Aqua Pisces and Aries video. This is for March 2020. My what is need not influence my what is becoming. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull what I had last week for you all, okay? That came out, well, I did a video, which I'll upload it because, you know, actually, I might keep it and let it be a part of, I know these were upright, so I'm going to keep that all like that, okay? I did put lotion on this time. I think most of these were upright, so I'm going to read them upright for you guys. Is that cool? Like I said, this is for Aqua, Pisces, and Aries, your monthly March 2020 video, but whenever this applies, you can apply this energy, okay? I'm just here to read it. All right, so we got the Ace of Wands. That is in your emotional space, okay? So you're emotionally feeling as if you have to make a decision based on the strength that you have already had to give to others, okay? Meaning these are other relationships, okay? 111. And then we have the Moon in your spiritual space. So again, that shadow side of your other relationship. Yeah, some of the parts you're going to bring into yourself, okay? And to bring into your new locations, okay? So this could be for someone who has a Gemini moon. You have to be able to call to both energies, okay? Whether that's the stable one and then that's the other one that's like a lot more restless, okay? So be able to call to those energies and like have them intertwine, if that makes sense, okay? And then we have the Knave of Wands. The Knave of Wands is in your physical space because it's asking you to move towards it, okay? Move towards identifying those energies physically, okay? And we'll get to talking more about what that means by identifying those energies physically, okay? And also being able to have a resting position for yourself. So restless and resting, okay? And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in your mental space. So you're conjuring up how to make that a lot more physical and tangible and profitable, okay? Physical, tangible, and profitable, okay? So a person that is okay, so a lot of people move off their tropical zodiac sign, okay, or their zodiac placements in natal chart. So when you move into the sidereal, you move into the soul purpose of it, okay? So when you move into the soul purpose of it, you are going to find a deeper understanding of what that means to actually move in that energy, okay, and make that energy present for yourself. And then we have the Ten of Wands in your emotional space and the second week, okay? So the second week is actually bringing in that magnitude of, you know, how you have been carrying the load, okay? Bastos, okay? So think about the base of something, okay, and how it sounds like doom, 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 okay? So this can be for someone who needs more of a musical direction that needs to be, you know, studied, okay? And then we have the Eight of Chalices in your spiritual space, and the second week is going to be asking you to become a teacher of your spiritual awareness, a teacher of your spiritual journey of how you were resting and restless, okay? And mostly into your restless position, okay? Because this one, again, is kind of moving into a resistance of being taught. And you don't want to be resisting to be taught, okay? And then we have the Ten of Chalices. The Ten of Chalices in your physical space is also mostly saying that you're able to bring an emotional energy in your environment, okay? Emotional position in your environment, okay? And that's good because you're riding a rainbow. That's that Titanic. I think I referenced it in the other video, but I'm going to make that a part of the extra uploads. And then we have the Queen of Chalices, okay? So we have the Queen of Chalices for that purpose of indicating that you have the emotional stability to, like, the emotional stability, because this is 10, it's a completion, so it means that you have went through probably every emotion in the book, okay, that you can potentially go through, whether that is some form of, okay, and maybe not been able to, you know, you get different degrees or extremities of emotional feelings, but you also have to be able to tangibilize them, okay? So meaning you have to, again, be able to bring this type of woman who already earned her stripes, or your femininity part, to have earned your stripes into a physical being. So manifest them, okay? Manifest their ability to be, you know, emotionally present for you, okay? Do you not be emotionally present for yourself? So that would be, you know, being able to identify that as well. All right, so the third week, I should have put you where no one could find you. I know, I know, I Look at this dog. All right. Dang, all these reversals. We got the 4 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so again, that meditative. Okay, that was in your What You Need 7-day forecast on the Micoles on IG. Okay, so we have the 6 of Swords. So there's gonna be an emotional need to not move away from something quite yet. Okay, so maybe get into the depths or the extremities of this second week of how emotionally bearing something has been, or bearing it has, was. Okay, because again, that's also forcing you to see and face death almost. Okay, face a spiritual, emotional death. Okay, where you no longer feel those ways because you have bared yourself with fur. Okay, and fur is just a texture. You see how she came over here for me to rub her. She was giving me a textural representation of, girl, don't put that cold nose on me, a textual representation of an emotion. Okay, and then we say justice, because petting is a form of, even if you pet yourself. Like, I used to have really long arm hairs, which I don't know, they haven't grown back super long, but I used to love people who had long arm hairs. I used to love lotioning them to the side, like a little slick back on the arm. But that was a textural thing, and we have we have fur on our bodies for textural reasons, and it's up to us to identify what those textural things are, whether we have trauma or ease with those textures. Okay. And then we have, because we must have went through an extreme transformation or evolution with our bodies and our soul bodies. If you say if you came, because you guys know, okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but I talked about sloths. One comment on my Twitter or whatever, you guys can look it up, but I felt like sloths were, some type of form of lower grade of humanity, okay, or a human, because you think about they are grounded. They are having to literally be forced to be grounded on a daily basis, and they move at a slower pace because of course they may have not gained that strong groundedness that has come with being, to stand heights, okay, and to be able to feel at a physical higher level. Okay, so this with justice is that kind of that energy spiritually. What will you evolve to spiritually if you do not learn, even the worms, they're pretty low on the totem pole, but they're so important on the food chain or the ecosystem. Okay, and then we have also the 9 of Wands in reverse. Okay, that's your physical space. So what about the 9 of Wands is standing a resistance to being placed against intuition. Okay, so what intuitively are you standing against to receive something unjust or unjustly? Okay, or unjustly. And then we got the 8 of Swords. Okay, so you're moving out of a trap. So we got the 8 and the witchcraft. So that's 5 of Swords. That is, again, it's asking for a form of mental help. Okay, a form of mental stability in some format. Okay, even though it's reversed, you are in a way you're seeking that vulnerability for that help without having to state that, because again, you wouldn't want, if someone's an identifier of something, you would want them to go in and make that identification known to you and themselves. Okay, rather than you having to say that, and then they have the opportunity to think even longer on a decision, when the decision should be made right then and there based off their own personal judgment. Okay, I should have put you somewhere where no one could find you. Okay. Okay. All right. So we got the Judgment in reverse. Okay, so that again, you asking them to make a judgment call that was more secular to their type of thinking rather than your type of thinking. But now that you guys have probably came into an agreement, the Knave of Swords, you came to an agreement. You're now learning how to make a decision together. Okay, with someone. I don't know who this person is that you need to be making decisions with, that there's a form of decision making that needs to be had, or there's a form of leadership that needs to be had when it comes to decision making. Okay, and I think there is, yeah, because I see them. Okay, so okay, we had the 3 of Wands. Okay, so there is, the ships has not come in for a purpose. Okay, in the 4th week, I feel like this is a stopping emotional shipment. Okay, this is stopping an emotional penetration that could have been a lot bit more. If you look back into this, 10 of Wands, a lot more burdensome than you wanted. Okay, So that kind of is just saying, okay, I made the decision to, because you had the goats, which is Capricorn. So that Capricorn energy was probably made during that time. You had pretty much already made the swift decision that you wasn't going to be, you know, being with hyenas, people who are laughing at you, okay? Because again, you can be with people who laugh at you because they have misinformation or misform of information, because this again is action. So they were informed to act differently when they could have acted presently, okay? If they would have acted presently, they would have known the decision they could have been making for themselves on a feminine aspect rather than a masculine aspect, okay? All right, that's why I say niggas talk more than these days, okay? And then we got the Two of Swords, that again, that mental decision spiritually, okay? So they were making decisions in their masculine form rather than in their feminine form, okay? Because they're a split decision, that black and white. I always say that because that song is, you know, it references, well, obviously it represents drugs, but that's not what we're talking about here. But people have a drug to, or people are addicted to, which is another form of drug, you know, gossip, misinformation, relying solely on being told something rather than being showed something, okay? Again, because you have people who miss their target because they're not equipped to have that information, you know, for themselves, or they don't feel like it affects them directly. 1101. You know, some people's privilege don't feel like it affects them directly, so they're split between making a decision of two naturals, okay? 11 10 of two naturals, okay? So someone could, okay, this could be a mixed person spiritually. This person knows that they identify as white, no offense, you know, but this person know they identify white. They know the privilege of their whiteness, but then this person also knows the privilege of their blackness, but they don't also appreciate the privilege of their blackness. There's a privilege to speak about a black before there's a privilege. 1133. There's a privilege to speak about a black if you have this stance, okay? So I even think about that movie Get Out, and how she was like, yeah, I'm fighting for my boyfriend. But are you fighting for your boyfriend if in the long term you are exploiting his same privileges or his same talents or his same gifts? If you are exploiting his same gifts, okay? And that's just, you already know. Don't play with me. Okay, so we got the Magician in reverse. That's that physical exploitation, okay? You know this man is powerful being. He has all these gifts, traits, blah, 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 and things that he could do. And maybe that was something that you saw in him that he wasn't able to display courageously. Do you understand? He couldn't display barely. Or he barely displayed it. So because he barely displayed it in the physical, you didn't make a decision to defend him. You made a decision to, you know, go for what could have brought him higher, what could have ascended him higher spiritually, okay? So again, you fought with your polarity more than you fought with the righteousness of your decision making when it comes to being next to someone, okay? And then we say this, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is also, again, it's in reverse. So again, that decision making, meaning you okay, remember I told you this is the greed card, because again, but it also brings you back to still that same result. He's still going to ascend in a form that is vibrationally well for him, okay? Even though it's in reverse, he's still going to ascend because his night is slow. So now it's going to happen even more at a faster pace because of the indecision or the mispraise or the misinformation, okay? 1313. So this kind of feels like the end of the week is like you guys were teaming up with someone who didn't really know themselves, or if they did know themselves, they didn't have the confidence to display themselves. And because they didn't have the confidence to display themselves, there was a form of, you know, there was a form of abusing, you know, that person's well-being. In a sense, you were helping expedite the beating of this person, if that makes sense, or the self-doubt or the you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's kind of like a person being in a group of their friends and their friends watching them abuse themselves and go through abuse and go through mistreatment, and knowing that they have an opportunity to be treated correctly, you decided to continue to play on the side of the oppressor, okay? And because you didn't know that you were there's a level of responsibility people need to take when it comes to oppression, okay? And I always say even blacks could be against them own selves, okay? Even women could be 1414. Even women could be against them own selves, okay? You can have a friend who cheers for love, but when it comes to your love, don't really fucking cheer for you. Do you understand? And even if that means them being in a position that they know that if you have it, that they don't see that they are winning as well. Do you understand? So like I always said, I think somebody else said it, but I quoted it. They said people if a person don't know themselves, they fuck it up for everybody, okay? Excuse my French, excuse my language. Because again, that is one of those conversations. Because I always say, like, if a man knows, like a group of guys, you can know a man is treating a really good girl wrong, or a man probably should be best with this good woman. You will be the type that still drag him to meet hussies and hoes, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, whatever, the whole movement. But hussies and hoes, do you understand? You would be dragging that man to meet with those hussies and hoes rather than, you know, disciplining yourself to say, hey, if I'm the parasite energy or energetic parasite around you that is not getting you closer to this woman, then maybe I should remove myself, okay? Or even if you're like his female girlfriends or something like that. And this may be personal at this point. Do you understand? But because that's the information that needs to come out, and that's the information that I need to spread, because that is very, very important for how things are going to align out. How you guys are abusing a magician that is abusing his own powers, okay? So again, I'm not saying you take responsibility, but I wouldn't be around people that don't take responsibility for me the same way I would take responsibility for them. If I'm feeding people and they're not feeding me the same way. Do you understand? So we're going to move on to this. Ooh, Verisite. Okay, this is a pretty rough too. So the color is green. It's the heart chakra and the solar plexus, okay? The Verisite is a peaceful, lighthearted stone. The light green mineral can soothe the mind and energize the body. It helps lift the mood of those who are very serious, alleviating heavy energy, okay? It's especially used for those who are uncomfortable with unfamiliar social situations or have an aversion to networking. It mollifies the social anxieties. It mollifies the associated anxieties, helps foster an ease of connection. Verisite opens the heart chakra and infuses it with healing and love and support. It also vibrates with the sacredness of nature, reminding you to appreciate and connect with the world's beauty. Healers believe it to be calm and balanced to the nervous system, okay? And how you can use this is mediate with Verisite to quiet your mental chatter and ground yourself with Earth's energy, okay? Anyway, I haven't even looked at this before. I don't ever think I've even seen this crystal. So we learn something new every day. I love that. Okay. All right. Shalom. I'll see you guys in your next monthly's readings. And